Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Style Queen podcast. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I met this amazing lady back in March at an amazing conference, and we had the pleasure of be sitting next to each other. And like they say, the rest is history. So thank you, God, that you are here. Make sure that when you finish watching the podcast, that you invite your followers. You want to tell them about it. Share it on social media, because this is going to transform the way they communicate with their clients. So let me tell you a little bit about this awesome woman, Diane Bleck. So here she is. She is in a mission to unlock insights, inspiration, and ideas for individuals and companies across the globe. In her highly acclaimed strategy sessions, participants can expect to be engaged in a rich collaborative process to co-create innovative strategies, transform teams, build dynamic workflows, and deliver the ultimate business model. And oh my gosh, she listens, she coaches, and understands the complexity of group dynamics to ensure successful outcomes for events, training, conferences, meetings, and webinars. In short, in a short period of time, she can take a team from blue sky thinking to concrete creation. And that's just like the tip of the iceberg of all the things that she can do in plain terms. She takes whatever you're talking, she takes your idea, your problems, your issues, and she draws them out in an amazing way, because she's an amazing doodler. I just started calling you the Queen of Doodles. I don't know if anybody calls you that, but I'm calling you the Queen of Doodles. Diane, welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. And yes, I have been called the Queen of Doodles. I actually have a crown. I did a whole photo shoot. You would love this as the style queen. I did a whole photo shoot on the beach with a crown, and then I did all these doodles in the sand. So I've always thought I was going to write that book one day.
Yeah, you should. You definitely should, because that's gonna sell like hotcakes. Because you are the Queen of Doodles. Oh my gosh! So when we met back in the beginning of March, we were sitting. Unfortunately, I didn't know who you were. I had no idea. So I had no idea. I was sitting next to a celebrity, someone. It's funny because I've been on Periscope for almost a year then, and I just happened to always miss your scopes. And then I saw you with the iPad. You're so creative, and I'm like, what is this lady doing? So tell us, for those people that unfortunately don't know who you are, let tell us, what is it that you do?
Yeah, so my name is Diane Bleck, and I am a visual business strategist. So I work with companies large and small, and I help them see their ideas. And what that looks like is I help them not only brainstorm what are they talking about, but then I help them actually visualize it so they can make concrete next step actions. So I work with large pharmaceutical companies. I work with technology companies. I attend huge conferences like Wired Conference or TEDMed or Smart Success and others. And I sit there with my iPad, my ThinkPad, or my notepad, and I'm drawing nonstop. So one real quick doodle that I did with you, Catherine, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, my light's on it. So this is one of the examples from our conference. So in a matter of an hour, I create a visual that summarizes the conversation, because so many times people are just talking and they don't know what they're saying. So I create a solution you can see, I create a visual, and then I instantly tweet it on social media for conferences, so that it's a way to keep your viewers engaged in a conference that they can't attend. And I could go on and on, so I don't want to have too long of an answer. So
that's awesome. That's fantastic. And that's exactly what you do. And you do it so it looks effortless, because you have mastered now. You know what you do. And she is amazing, Daphne. You have to see her stuff. It's unbelievable. Were you always this creative? Were you always able to do it all?
So I started out always coloring. I loved to color as a kid, and I loved living in the colorful world, and that's why my studio and everything is filled with color. And I actually got a degree in theater, so I'm a theater major. And then I wound up working with Ernst & Young in my early 20s, and they were looking for artists to come in and visualize big ideas, especially during the .com, when everything was very much in their head, and they were trying to figure out, how do you show people what these venture capitalists are investing in? And so that was a great way to bring someone like me in, and I've been doing this for 20 years. I have been traveling the globe being a professional doodle for dollars. I have an online institute called the Doodle Institute where I train people in this methodology, and I just launched Innovation ThinkPad, which is my corporate training, going in with organizations and unlocking creativity and innovation with trainers, educators, and facilitators within organizations.
Awesome. Unbelievable. It's just crazy. So you've always been creative. I'm not surprised that you are a theater major, of course, because you are able to create things and organize them in such a way. When did you know that you can use this for business and for entrepreneurs? I know you do it for corporate, but when did you know that you can even share what you do? Because I know you explained it with doodles too, which is unbelievable. When did you know?
So I knew whenever I went to my dad's work at Ernst & Young, and I was working at the Goodman Theater at the time. I was an intern for them, and I went to his business environment where they had 100 feet of whiteboards. And my dad was like, why don't you just listen to what we're talking about and draw it? And so I did that. I sat there and I took ideas and I drew them. And then my dad, who had paid for this theater degree, was like, his heart lit up and he was like, oh my gosh, you could actually support yourself. You could actually run a business. And that was when I was 23 years old. So I started with Ernst & Young for 5 years.
2 years ago? 2 years ago?
No, that was when I was 23 years old.
Oh, I know. I'm saying. So
not 2 years ago. It's a long time ago. So, but that's when I knew. And then I instantly was part of their training. I would go to London and I would train people there. I would go to Australia. I would go to Paris and I would train other people that were artists, illustrators, creatives. And I would say, you can use that creative talent in the business world and provide a very valuable service. Not only are you a layman, you don't understand the business language, but you bring not only that mind, because that's a valuable mind in the business world, to ask those innocent, naive questions. Because if I can understand it, then everyone can understand it. And that's a huge value that you bring.
Oh my gosh, you just said so much there, but I love what you said. When you're a coach, when you're a business owner, you know what you're doing. You've been doing it for a long time. You're not in a place where you're still learning. So when you explain it to people, you explain it from the place that you are now, which is so remote from where you used to be and where your client is now. So it's so awesome. So what you just said is that you have to be able to explain what you do in such a simple way that when you leave that place and the person is asked, what did you say? What did you do? They're able to repeat it, maybe using word by word, or get the gist, get the idea, and say it perfectly without saying, I don't know what she does. She does something weird. I have no idea. Right?
Right. And that's the same that you need in a business meeting. If you're in a business meeting and you've spent the entire day and you still don't know what you've talked about, then it wasn't valuable getting together. But when you can wander, and that's what I tell people, when you wander onto my drawings that I've created over the 2 and 3 days at your event, you instantly remember the conversation, the decisions, the choices that you made, and who you were sitting by. Like, you remember the entire experience by adding this visual learning component.
Absolutely. Look what you did at Smart Success, which of course we are huge fans of Chalene Johnson. She's amazing. But there was so much content there. There was so much content. And then for every session, which there were so many sessions, you had an amazing doodle that really, when you looked at it, you didn't have to be at the conference to realize that's what they did. And it's so powerful. That's what they did. And I love that. And Chalene loved it. And then you guys worked together and you were just doing what you do.
Right.
And it turned into something even bigger.
Right.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So I'm sure that everything has been smooth sailing for you. You have figured everything out. Not a single mistake. You're super smart. And everything was like this, right? You started here and you went like that, right? Is that what happened?
No.
I had a feeling. So what happened when you had this idea? I'm going to have this business. You're 23 years old, super, a kid, still growing up. How did you go from 23 to where you are now? And how has your business and your idea of how you doodle changed?
That's a great question. I love it. So I started out 5 years working with Ernst & Young, and then I was I was sitting there thinking, this is too valuable. This is only being used for the top organizations. Visual learning and having someone there that documents it is applicable to every industry: education, legal, in small startups and nonprofits. They all have a story to tell. I did a video for Zana Africa, which is about young girls having access to sanitation pads, and so we did a short video doodle so that funders understood the story behind it. So I knew there was application. So I got a studio in South Chicago in Tilton. The rent seemed extremely high. It was like $650 a month. I was taking a huge bus ride down, going down there every day and just starting this business and literally saying, I'm going to doodle for dollars. I'm going to stand in the corner. I'm going to add value, and you're going to pay me to do this. And so I literally went one business connection to one business connection. I found great facilitators, and I became a partner to them. And I helped them visualize their strategies with their clients. And so I built them one by one. And then what happened was now people wanted me at two different places. They wanted me to go to Florida for this event, and they wanted me to go somewhere else for another event. So I had to build a network. I had to grow a network. And at one point, I had the largest network in the United States and globally of graphic facilitators, which is the term. And I had over 20 people on my roster, and we were flying everywhere, all these clients and contracts. And guess what? It was everything I wanted, and it was way too much. I was dropping my kids off at before care at like 6 a.m. I was picking them up after 6 p.m. And it was too much. And so I had to scale back and continue to scale back to get to where I am now, which is I have my online institutes, I have my trainings, but I have so much more time back and control over my schedule. And so that's where my value changed. My value was in my time and raising my rates instead of pounding the pavement and giving everything away.
Absolutely. I just love what you just said, because I have a feeling that, we're connected because we're very similar. I feel that you are a little bit of an overachiever. Excuse me. Maybe one more? No, I'm good. All right. So maybe you're a little bit of an overachiever, right? And you get excited and you're so passionate. You can't, like, something gets lit up, I call it in your tummy. You're so excited and you just want to be doing it 24/7. 24/7. You want to be it. You want to breathe it. You want to eat it. You want to dress on it. You want to marinate on that. You love it so much. And then that's when, thank you, Lona, I appreciate that. That you can lose your balance. You can lose that balance in between life, meaning having a life, and then having a business that's successful. And then I love that you learn. And I think we learn that at different levels, at different stages. Because as we grow, we lose ourselves again, and then we find it again. You were so vulnerable the other day, and you share that. And I thought that was so powerful, because unfortunately, this having it all at the same time has taken a negative connotation. Just because we can, it doesn't mean that we should.
Yes. And if you don't take the time to find balance, you will smash into that wall and slide down. And that's what just happened to me recently. Is there was all this stuff going on in my personal life, and I was still trying to have it all together on the outside world. And I finally had to marry both of them and say, Uncle, I have to go off social media. I have to go small. I have to go into an ebb, which I don't like ebbs. I live in flow, and make new decisions. And so right now I'm in Brendan Bouchard's class from Smart Success, and I got up this morning and I did 10 minutes of stretching. I did 20 minutes of meditation. I did 10 minutes of planning, and I'm doing his 5 and 50 formula, and it's amazing because it's helping me understand that, like you said, just because I can do everything doesn't mean I have to do everything. I mean, I have produced 110 training videos, written 12 books, all in the last 2 years. If you want to see someone who produces I produce like nobody's business because my creative heart is so ignited. I feed my creative well every day, and it serves me every day. And if I don't do that, then I get out of balance. And what happened was there was a lot of just family, personal stuff that was needing my attention, and I had to do family first.
You have to. I just love that you have to prioritize. You have to, just because you can. And I'm very similar. I have done so much. And Sing Smart Success, and I've been meaning to do a video for Celine because I think she'll appreciate it. She said, you have to stop everything. That's so hard when you are such a workaholic and you have such a passion for it. And let me tell you that I heard what she said in so many different areas about spending time with your family because your kids leave. My daughter's 12 years old. She will leave very soon. So I heard that so loud and clear, and I dropped everything for the whole month of March.
Yeah.
And I did all the things that she said, and I scaled back. The number of ideas that I got because I started taking days off was unbelievable. I'm sleeping now 7.5 to 9.5 hours a night consistently. I'm going to bed early, way earlier. I'm getting up at 5:30 in the morning. I don't snooze. I don't know why this grabbed me so much, but she said the snooze button is the devil or something like that. And I just took it to heart because it lies. It tells you that just 5 more minutes is going to do it, when in reality it's not.
Right.
So that's part of understanding yourself and your body, and understanding the business will be okay.
Yeah.
I'm
taking the summer off. Like, I do an event June 9th, and then I'm doing 3 workshops on Innovation ThinkPad, and that's it for the summer. Like, I'm going to enjoy my 3 children. And it's so funny. Someone was like, well, you're the president of the company. You can do whatever you want. And I was like, oh, you're right. I can do whatever I want.
You get to do whatever you want.
I forget. And yes. And it is amazing how you just have to keep recalibrating. Otherwise, the world is going to recalibrate for you, because you can't keep doing it.
You can. And there is no shame in saying I took on too much.
Yeah.
It's okay to say, I say yes to this. However, I have to take it back. I learned so much about that, because before I'm like, I'm a woman of my word. I promise I would do this. No backseas, right? And now it's like, I meant it when I said it, but in reality, I can't. So I cannot do that. So it's so awesome. Thank you. Daphne says you have earned the right to. Yes.
I know. I love that. We all have. We've all earned the right to put in a pause. You know, like, hang on, I just got to hit the pause button. I got to regroup. Because I'm one of those other people where it's like, I do all or nothing. You know, I forget that I can just step back, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So you have the Doodle Institute. You have 12 books. You're amazing. You travel in the world. You have this amazing resource, like amazing skill. Why are you sharing that with everyone? Because you can just keep this secret to yourself and not share it. So why are you sharing that with us?
You know what? Okay, here's the thing I tell everyone. When you put pen to paper, you open your heart channel for ideas, insights, and inspirations to listen to the magic language of the universe. When you put pen to paper, you enter the creative world. And so many of us got told, don't doodle, don't draw. And what we got told is, don't go into the creative world. And when you go into the creative world, you will hear your purpose. You will hear your mission. You will hear your story. You will hear the work that God wants you to do. You know, the universe, whatever. And my voice has always told me, share this message with the world. Because if I get you to put pen to paper, I'm not asking you to connect with me. I'm asking you to connect with your higher creativity and your higher self, so that you go and play in the magic of the creative world and hear what your heart is supposed to guide you on. And that I can't keep to myself.
Exactly. Exactly. I told you last night, I only invite people that I like and I know are doing awesome things. It's my show, right? I get to invite whoever I want. So we connected so well at the conference because of this, because that I was my first client. This is exactly why I do what I do. I could just say, I'm going to look all kinds of fine all by myself. I'm not going to share how people can look good. I'm not going to tell them where to shop, how to put it together. I'm not going to tell them that their confidence can be higher so they can step out and do amazing things. I could just keep that to myself. But I can't, because the whole reason why I have this gift is for other people. And the more, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but the more you give, the more you use of your gift, the better you get at it.
Yes. Yeah. My word of the year is generosity. And I have given away so much stuff this year because I know I have to. And then I want to answer one quick question I saw. How do you work with entrepreneurs? So real quick, one of the things I'm doing right now is I'm working with one of the entrepreneur incubators in Chicago. And so they have hundreds of companies that they are incubating all their different tech ideas. And one simple thing I'm doing right now is I'm going and I'm asking each of them, tell me about your job for 10 minutes. And then on the glass outside their office, I'm doing a doodle of what their job is. So like one company is building a new interface for sales forces. And they're showing this pipeline of activity that's going into the screen so every salesperson can see what the other people within the organization are doing, from billing, from invoicing, from troubleshooting. And so I did a simple little visual for them. So now anyone who comes to ask them about their company, they have a visual that says, here's what we're doing. Because that's the big thing. So with entrepreneurs and businesses, I help build infographics. I help build story maps. I help do patient journeys, customer avatars, because the more specific you are about your customer, the more your product will talk to the audience. And then build little sales tools so that when you're talking to a client, you have a visual that guides you through that process. So let's say that you sell cloud storage. You can draw a building. You can draw a little cloud above it, and you can say, this is where our files go, this is where our extra resources go, this is where this goes. And you can see what I'm doing. Even without me drawing, you're following me. And that's what's great. You don't have to be an awesome doodler. If I draw something and someone says, what is that? And one person sees a cat, and one person sees a horse, and one person sees a giraffe, you just label it and say, oh, this is a giraffe. And then everyone goes along with you. It doesn't have to be beautiful. You're getting the idea out, not the art. I'm not asking you to be artists. I'm asking you to get your ideas out.
Absolutely. So Daphne is my partner, my business partner too. We have a retreat to Jamaica, and she's just saying that we need you for the retreat for sponsorships. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like what you did with me on Periscope. What, 3-4 weeks ago that I jumped on? You remember back from March what I told you that I did, and within minutes you explained to the audience exactly, like it was ridiculous. I'm like, yeah, what she said. That's exactly what I do, what she said, and everyone got it.
Yeah.
Everyone got it.
So this is a sketch of someone's like 3-page letter of everything that they do in their organization. And I'm painting this on a 4-foot wide column in their office, so that as people come through their organization, they can wander, remember my word, wander upon the drawing and have natural visuals to the conversation. And that's the power of having a visual, is that the visual should allow your conversation to expand and contract. It does not have to be super specific. It has to just be overall.
That's awesome. That is so, so awesome. Oh my gosh. I love it because it's clear. It's so clear. You don't have to we go into abstract. Well, I help people to feel better. Well, anybody else could do that, but how and why do I care? We have to go into the why do I care? How does that change my life? How does that make my life better if I share with you what I do, right? Yeah, it is a gift, Daphne. You have to see her stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing. So you work with entrepreneurs. You work with corporate America. You travel. You are basically you're a mother. You're a wife. You're doing it all. what do you enjoy the most? Like when you go, and you said it beautifully, that you go into the creative and you do it every single day, you go into that space every day. When you're there, when you are in that place and you are in your element, what happens to you inside? Like what opens up? Just let us know in a few words what happens in your mind when you're doing that.
Yeah, well, I think what happens is I do all these things, but the thing that I love the most, and the thing I did this morning, and I think you might have been on one of my scopes this Friday. The thing that people don't know that I do about that I'm starting to share more of is I get these ideas for these prayer quilts. I make these sacred prayer quilts that people use in their morning meditations. And that's like this morning I was sewing on the binding of it, doing little mantras, sewing it on. So, like I love all this expansive, and I love all this pouring into my family, but I also have sacred practices that are mine, that are my rituals and routines that keep me going. And so I guess by going in and out of that creative world, I still get called to make objects that will last longer than me. Does that make sense? My drawings will be disposed of. My books might last past my lifetime, but my quilts, like all quilts, will last generations. And to give someone a sacred object of a prayer quilt and have that last through my grandchildren, that's what's powerful to me, or last through other generations. Because I don't want to just affect who's here now. I want to be left behind for generations in my handwork.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. And I love what you said. Yeah, you're CEO, you're the founder of an amazing company, you have 12 books, you have a husband, you have kids, but you're still Diane. You're still a person. Like when you were born, you were not all those things. You were just a pretty baby that your mom and your dad loved, and that was it, right? But so you're still that person. And I think as women, sometimes we forget to be an individual. And that doesn't negate all your other hats. We have so many hats that we wear because we are multi-talented, and we can do all these amazing things. But when you stay in touch with that person inside of you, that's still a person that needs to breathe and needs fulfillment, that you can get yourself without having to get somebody else, just you. What do I love? And still get to do that. Because when we do that, we become better partners. We become better people when we are able to go into our own little space and do something that you enjoy all by yourself. It's like playing in the sand by yourself, and then you go back and play with others. But remembering to make time for the little things, to make time for you, is the prayer quilts, which are amazing. I never even heard of that. Daphne just says that one of her clients does that. That's amazing. Prayer baskets too. That's unbelievable. Just don't lose yourself in your business. You are not your business. Right. We are not businesses. We are individuals. We're still women. We're still people.
And I think that is one of the things I'm still wrestling with is my business. I still run with a lot of emotion, and I know that I shouldn't, and I know that that the business world tells me not to, but I can't help it. Like, if a client steps on my toes, I will take my markers and go. Like, I still am sensitive. Like, as much as I'm expansive and as much as I love to give to my clients, that there is also this, if you don't understand what I do, because can you imagine? I mean, I have to stand in front of major leaders of organizations, and and this is what you and I connected on, was in terms of styling, in terms of like having the right look and feel, you have to show up and be confident and comfortable in who you are, or client will eat me alive as the artist. And so there are times where I'm not the right fit for the client, and I have no problem taking my markers and going away, because there are some clients that don't understand this, and they can get very belittling, and they can get just, like, I don't understand who you are. Why would someone pay you for this? Like, they can send some serious messaging, and then you have the next client who's like, you are the most amazing person on earth. Like, and they've like Googled me and researched me, and they're like, do you know you've done this, and this, and so it's not that I just want to work with the people who think I'm awesome, but you have to go with the flow of that client. And no matter where you are, no matter how far you get in your company, you will still hit clients where I trust now energetically, this is not a good fit for me with this client, and I need to take my markers and go. And I'm learning how to do it more professionally, but it's still hard. It's still like, there's still a part of me that's like, it's like Julia Roberts in that movie. I'm just a girl with my doodles, and I hope that you like me, And sometimes they don't like you, and that's still something that I think you will always learn throughout businesses.
Absolutely. The thing is that people lie. People told us in corporate America, especially, that you cannot be emotional. Well, if you're going to take emotion out of human beings, then we're not human beings anymore. You know what? We get to be emotional, because I don't want to be with someone. I don't want to be friends with someone. I don't want to be married to anyone that doesn't have emotion. Emotion lets other people know that you are human, that you are there, that you're paying attention, and you have to let people know what's okay and what's not okay. And I love what you said. You take your markers and you go. You pick up your ball and you go, right? So it's okay to say, we don't have to do this. Guess what? I know my gifting is awesome, but it's not a great fit for us right now. We don't have to do this. And I love the fact that you said that, because now I only work with people that we connect with. That's something that Charlene also said at the conference. I only work with people that are open and able to receive what I do. When she said that, that was engraved in my mind.
Yeah.
Because why would I waste my time working with someone that, it's like throwing pearls to the swine, right? Like the proverb said, only people that get it.
Yeah.
That's it. Nobody else. If you get it, we're good. If you don't get it, that's good. But I'm just not gonna waste my time.
Yeah. And I'm not exaggerating. I walked away from a $120,000 contract because and the contract had already gone through several stages of the vendor process, which if you've worked with large companies, it's a pain in the butt. And I pulled it at the very end because I said, this is not worth, I am doing creativity on your behalf. I am entering the creative zone, the creative realm on your behalf. And I'm not going to do this just for money. If it's not the right energetic fit, I can't go into the creative realm and pull it out for you. And I did. And my husband totally supported me. He's like, I support you walking away from that. Because it's so easy to think it's got to be the dollars, but it's not. It's more than that for me.
It's more than that. It will be the most expensive job you will have ever do, because the price for you to pay, I'm creative in a different way. But if I'm upset, my creativity goes out the window, completely out the window. So I protect that. I don't know about you, but I protect my space so much because, like I said on Periscope, this right here is my private property, and not everyone is allowed in my private property. And if I feel that you're not respecting me, if I feel that you don't think I'm all that in a bag of chips, then I'm gonna say, you need to leave my private property, because I get to say who stays in here, who affects and who doesn't affect me. So I love that you're saying that, because you're empowering so many people to realize you started your business because you wanted to be your own boss. You wanted to help people, and you can do that and have fun. You can do that and be your authentic self.
Right. And I always tell myself, when I close one of those opportunities, it's because there's something else I'm supposed to be available for. Because it's so true. Every time I let go of one thing, the next thing appears that I'm supposed to be working on, even though it feels like, oh my gosh, this is so scary to let this thing go. But something else emerges or appears. And even as we went through this thing behind the scenes with my family, if I had this one contract in place, I would not have been able to be there like I was. And so everything happens for a reason. And my one coach, Allison Crow, who is one of my right-hand people who supports me, she always tells me, Diane, everything is perfect in this moment. Everything is perfect in this moment.
I love that. I so love that. You are exactly where you need to be. And then you can be there miserable or you can be there happy. You're going to be there anyway. You might as well be happy. That's my motto in life. I'm going to be happy even if I'm in the hospital with a broken leg, because I'm going to say, maybe I'll meet someone amazing here. Who knows? Who knows? And that happens every single time. Like, that's my attitude about everything. Everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. Oh, my goodness. So we talk about how you help people. Why should, and I believe it, and I feel like you believe this too, why should every single person that helps people should be doodling? Why should they be doodling like yesterday?
Okay, why should you be doodling? One, you're doodling for your individual self. Every time you put pen to paper, you're opening your heart channel. Two, you're doodling to capture your ideas, insights, and those ahas. And three, you're doodling to connect with another person, because when you draw with a second person, you are making powerful connections. So whether you're drawing with a 4-year-old child, or you're drawing with my grandfather whenever he was in a retirement home, or I'm drawing with a top executive leader, I'm making that connection. So there's 3 different ways. I'm connecting with myself, I'm connecting with my person, and I'm connecting with another person. That is why you should doodle every single day.
Now, there's some people watching right now or listening and saying, yeah, that's easy for you to say, Diane. You're so talented. You're so awesome. You've been doing that since you were in your mother's womb. Is that true? Is doodling only for the people that are gifted and creative, like a selected number of people, or can everyone doodle?
I believe everyone can doodle. And I've created, here, I'm going to do a flip of my new book. I've created little books that are filled with drawings and icons that break it down for you. So, using my book, I believe using simple shapes, circle, square, triangle, oval, it goes on and on, star, flower, hearts, rainbows. You start to put those together, and I'll show you an example of one. Hang on. So look, if we take a circle, we can turn that circle into a clock, we can turn that circle into a magnifying glass, or we can turn that circle into a hot air balloon. Using simple shapes, you can break down everything around you in the world. I purposely draw very simple and very childlike because I want you to feel like you could draw what I just drew. And I want you to see that using simple shapes and the most powerful tool, an arrow, a directional device, you can create all kinds of maps and stories. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It is simple. And that's what my online institute has 5 classes. Sketchbook Basics. You can doodle building your vocabulary of what you want to draw. Electronic doodles. How do you draw on your iPad, your phone, your Wacom tablet? Spirit of doodles. How do you protect that sacred space? No one's teaching this. The sacred doodle space. And then 5, the business of doodles. How do I go make money doodling? Whether you design a, let me see if I have it. Oh, I can't find it right now. Here it is. You can take your simple doodle and make a coffee mug.
That's awesome.
You can take the most simple doodle and design a t-shirt. You can design a notepad. You can design your own book. You can illustrate your own book. You can create infographics. You can create posters. Like, it's endless what you can do. And if you charge $25 an hour, which is what a basic graphic designer charges, you can make money at this. Like, and then I charge $250 an hour right now for my time with my clients, you know? And so people are like, really? You get paid $250 an hour to doodle? And it's like, yes, I do. Because can you imagine what I can knock out in an hour? It's what a designer can knock out in 10 that I do in 1 hour. So
I've seen it. It's amazing. So fast and so beautiful. So beautiful. That is awesome. I'm so excited, Diane. So where can people find you? Where can they doodle with you? Because I have to start again. I started doing your doodle challenge in Life Got Crazy, and I allowed life to get crazy. So I have to doodle again. But where can they hang out with you?
So you can hang out with me on Periscope. I do lots of fun Periscopes, and Periscope's wide open. It's anything from testing new content to telling you about my baby Jack. You can hang out with me on Facebook Live. I do very short 5-minute lessons on the Doodle Institute on Facebook. You can connect with me on the doodleinstitute.com. I have a free class called Sketchbooks Basics, and then I have all the way up to 5 programs you can take. Or if you're a corporation, you can connect through Innovation ThinkPad, which is my corporate training. And I know it's all kinds. There's so many ways to connect. And Instagram. I'm all over Instagram.
Of course, that's a perfect platform for you. Perfect. So what would you tell the entrepreneur that's on the fence? It's like, Diane, that sounds good, but you don't know me. I cannot draw even with, a pencil or a circle. I just can draw. What would you tell them for their business? Like your business that's exploded by doing what you love and you showcasing how you help other people. What would you tell them for people that are thinking, that's not for me?
I would tell them that this is a skill set like any other skill for your toolkit. For you to be able to even chicken scratch out your business model with a potential investor or client is powerful. And so I've been on retainer for companies to just be a part of their sales calls. And at the end of the sales call, I deliver a doodle. And then that client on the end of the sales call goes, oh, I was heard. This person totally gets me. And so then they purchase. So I was on retainer for a client for $6,000 a month to just attend their sales calls because their sales calls converted just because I was on the call doodling. So if you want to convert your clients, make a visual because they will see the value you can bring. And your sales will go up. I was on retainer, $6,000 a month to just attend sales calls. Like, it's so powerful what this does.
Mind-blowing. It's just mind-blowing. It's just mind-blowing. Oh my gosh, Diane, I can talk to you forever because your content is so amazing. And you are so amazing. I want everyone to watch this podcast episode because I know we touch on so many different things, and I want it purposely to be about what you do, but also how you have done it. Because so many people see the success and they assume that everything has been smooth, that you had no issues, that you don't struggle, and that you're not a real person. And you have real struggles. People get sick, you get tired, kids get sick, life happens, but that doesn't mean that you throw in the towel. That just means that you readjust, that you take the time to rest, like you did, like I do, and say, my health is more important, my family is more important, I'm more important, and because you're going to be more rested, happier, and more balanced, when you do go back to your business, like when you go back in September, after you take this amazing summer off, you're going to be unstoppable. You're going to have so many ideas. You probably come up with like 10,000 books while you're doing that. And you're going to be so happy to say, I miss you guys. Like, I missed you. I'm so excited. And you get to work again with a renewed passion for what you do. And that's awesome.
And I love what you're doing, and I love all your podcasts or blabs. I was going and watching them all last night. You're doing such incredible work in your journey and in your life. And you're going to have me on sometime to hear the story of how I married my husband 6 weeks after I met him.
Wow, we're going to have to talk about that. Yes, I did a podcast series with a dating coach for men. And that was totally awesome. I'm all about having people that are doing amazing things. So yes, I will definitely take you up on that. Probably before you go on vacation, I'll get you and we'll record it and probably get it out during the summertime. It has been a pleasure talking to you. I so appreciate what you do. I know that you're doing something awesome for my audience. I will let them know on the podcast, but it's going to be awesome. You're sharing one of your amazing products. It's going to be unbelievable. Again, you can follow her. They can so on Periscope, you're Diane Bleck, right?
I'm Diane Bleck on everything. I decided that's the easiest way to find me. So yes.
Yeah, so that's BLECK. It's very easy, but you totally can think it's black, but it's black Thank you so much for your time. I know you're super busy and you made the time to talk to us today and share your passion, why you do it, how you do it. You want to give us one final thought about anything, what you're working on, what you want people to remember you by, one final thought.
I think one last thing is just to remember that you can doodle your dreams. You can, when you put them on paper, you're bringing them closer into the physical world. And that's why you draw them and you tape them up and you use them as vision boards and things like that. But you can doodle your dreams. You can make them happen.
Oh my gosh, I love that. You guys heard it. You heard her say, you can doodle your dreams. And I believe that 110%. As the style queen, I believe that we can do whatever we set our mind to do. And we can look all kinds of fine while we do it. Please check out Diane at the doodleinstitute.com. Share the podcast with everyone that you know. Because you're going to encourage. You're welcome. This is going to encourage someone. Someone's going to hear this and say, oh, wow, I have to be a little kinder to myself. I can take a break and I can doodle and have fun every single day. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you, Diane. We'll see you very soon because we'll talk about that amazing husband of yours. Guys, stay in touch and remember that you were created to do amazing things and look all kinds of fine while you do it.